Hello everyone, I'm Sanobar Sheikh, your host for the event. I welcome you to Jade Global's first ever simulcast streaming live across LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We would be discussing the nuances of the journey of transitioning from Salesforce Classic to Lightning. Did you know that IT departments that transition to Salesforce Lightning witness a 25 to 30% increase in their productivity and cut their time to market in half? And that's just the beginning with Lightning. However, if you are wondering if moving from Salesforce Classic to Lightning as a Salesforce user is a right choice right now, you may be in for a lot of confusion. Well, we have you covered. We have with us the speaker of the event, Abhijit Banika. Abhijit Banika is the director of CRM practice at Jade Global, a thought leader and a practitioner who likes to keep himself up to date on Salesforce trends and new acquisitions. He has been with Jade Global for 6 years and advised a lot of customers on Salesforce trends and new acquisitions. He has been a customer advisor, garnering recognition and praise for his expertise and ethics. For Jade Global's first ever simulcast, we could not have picked anyone better. He is going to help us answer all the key questions customers or the developer community has about the right approach for migrating from Classic to Lightning. With this, I hand over the control to Abhijit. Do feel free to use the chat channel to ask any question. Abhijit would be happy to answer them at the end of the simulcast. Abhijit has put together a presentation to answer the questions better and connect with audience so that everyone here, a business stakeholder or a developer, has a key takeaway. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, thank you. Thank you, Sanobar, for having me on this simulcast, and I hope everyone can see my screen. So today we're going to talk about some of the questions that industry has. Sanobar connected with some of the business leaders as well as IT leaders to understand what is that it really takes you guys to move from Classic to Lightning. And I'm more than happy to answer those. And if you guys have any questions, put it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer those at the end of the Q&A session. So we tried to collect all of the questions, and these are the questions that we'll be going through today, and I'll be answering those. And if you guys have anything, let me know. So what is Lightning experience? I know you guys have registered to this. You have heard about the buzzword, what is Lightning? Salesforce is keeping up with all the next trend user experience guidelines and trying to get Salesforce users best in the user experience. So it is actually an transfer from the old legacy UI to a new UI, which is more intuitive, which has more productivity features. And there is a question, what is the right time actually to move to Lightning experience? So in 2015, I still remember when Lightning was actually launched. That time, I turned on the Lightning experience for myself and I started navigating, and it was so difficult back then. But the things have changed. Since 2016, 2017, Salesforce has been releasing a lot of Lightning components and user components for both the developer community and at the end, the users, the sales users or the support users who are going to use Lightning. So what is new, right? I mean, how does it affect? Is it just a switch that you turn on and you get that experience? The answer is no. Practically, the answer is yes in the system, but do you get best out of Lightning when you do that? The answer is no. What you need to do is there is a specific way to get to Lightning. And it really depends on a lot of factors like what level of customizations you have. What is the user base that you're planning to migrate from Classic to Lightning? What is the transition journey that is going to happen for the users in terms of what is there really for both the IT stakeholders and the business stakeholders, mainly the business stakeholders, because they are the users of Salesforce Lightning at the end of the day. So as you got it, Classic is the old UI. Salesforce has kind of stopped releasing any new features on Classic. They are releasing all the new features on Salesforce Lightning. So that's the way forward for every organization who is on salesforce.com. That being said, what is really a transition impact? Let's talk about that. So transition impact is more on the user experience, as I said. When there is a change in the user experience, but obvious business stakeholders have to plan about planning the change management and the training. So of course the navigation is going to change. There are new productivity features. What you used to do in Classic, where you found certain things to do, like let's say the app launcher, or you go to find a menu, how the menu looks. There are a lot of other added features in Lightning to have the menu showcased. There are few features discontinued. You have to be a little careful when you move to Lightning. You should know, and we will talk about all those features in the detailed conversation where developer community who has joined is more interested to know about it. But for business stakeholders, it's very important to know that there are a lot of productivity features for them to hook onto Lightning experience. Visual First Pages and JavaScript. This is not more to do with business, it's with the backend part of your Lightning. This is where you have built your custom screens, or you have built some button to match your business processes. There is an impact on that because you need to either make the look and feel of the pages that you build into Lightning, or convert. So as you know, Lightning is a component-based framework. There is a backend framework that is completely changing. So you need to understand that some of the customizations that you had in Classic World are going to get impacted when you move to Lightning. So these are some of the things that has impact on the transition, but there is some things that still remain the same. So business can be assured there is no change in the business process as such, unless you want to do a business process change while you are doing this transformation. There is no impact on data. There is no impact on data model or any structure, data model structure that you have in the back. There is no impact on the mobile views unless you are using any mobile configured screens in Classic. But there is always more to offer in Lightning in terms of mobile, which we will talk about in some of the questions that were asked to us. The page layouts, there are no changes. Page layouts remains the same, but there is a concept of Lightning record pages that everyone in Salesforce communities knows about it. There is more to add. As I'm talking about Lightning, it's not like you don't lose much, but there's more to gain when you move to Lightning experience. App Exchange packages. Why I say there is no transition impact? Because most of the App Exchange packages do support Lightning now. And that's the key criteria for your App Exchange vendors to get on Lightning, so that whosoever is migrating to Lightning has Salesforce themselves are pushing their App Exchange partners to make the packages ready for Lightning. So there will be some configuration changes on your App Exchange packages, but there is no direct impact as such of this migration because the vendor who is having the App Exchanges that you're using will take care of it. Security model, great thing, no change on that. So many people has a myth that if you move to Lightning, it's going to be a major security impact. No, it is not. So this kind of gives you a background about when you transition to Lightning, these are the impact areas that you do. Let's move to the next question. So how do you identify if Lightning experience is a business initiative or technical upgrade? This is a key question. And I think everyone in Salesforce community, whoever is doing this project, has to really understand, is it a technical upgrade or is it a business initiative? I've seen the conversation changing over time. I had some business stakeholders who said that, what is in it for us to move to Lightning? There has been IT stakeholders who has said that, you know what, it's just a lift and shift. You take whatever we have implemented, just move it to Lightning and we are good. So actually, it has to be a balance. And that's what we will talk about. What balance am I really talking about? So in 2015, as I said, when we launched Lightning, there were a lot of gaps. Since 2017, I've seen that Salesforce launching new features and made a lot of customer support and a lot of other things that has really improved on the Lightning side. So really talking about key business point, right? What is it for business? So some of the questions that I hear from businesses, is it going to help my team to be more productive? The answer is yes. There are around 30 plus productivity features in Lightning that they have kept user in point of view to release them. And some of them we'll talk in a bit. how to make sure that your transition is actually business driven, because that is part of it, because they're going to use the system end of the day. Early demo, educate your business stakeholders about this, about the features. Try to have live demos ready. Try to give early demos about the feature, because most of the time lightning transitions happen when they actually take the lightning, I mean, classic as an existing code base, and try to say that, oh, just turn off the switch and make it feel like it's in lightning. But a lot of things break, and it's very important to educate, because some of the customizations you have in classic is going to retire in a way that there's out of the box things available in lightning. So that mapping of what you have versus what you need to do in lightning needs to happen early. So also many sales leaders and operational leaders have come across uh, some adoption issues. What we have seen is that they were so used to classic processes, and getting them to the next level really needs some tools to really train them, like train through some products like WalkMe, or you can build in-house LMS to kind of help them to do that. Salesforce has Trailhead. So there are two communities, right? Developer community, I really appreciate you guys use something like Trailhead to get used to what has to be done. But for business community, Trailhead could be very generic. You need a pointed or focused content which is going to help them to really know how to navigate, what to do according to that specific business process that organization has. So that's very important to know. So there are also trailheads for business stakeholders, but I would say that's okay to be used before you even go into Lightning. So just to know how things work in Lightning, but not necessarily that's how it will be configured when you go to Lightning. So it's very important. It's a business initiative or like IT initiative. Now I spoke more about business side. Let me talk about IT side of things. Um, Whenever such kind of project budget is allocated for releasing or doing this project, it is mostly IT, because they feel that it's just a UI upgrade. While yes, it is a UI upgrade, but IT needs to see that everyone knows Salesforce is a multi-tenant environment. There are so many stakeholders, there are so many partners or vendors who have worked on one single instance over a period of time. If your instance is more than 10 years, there has been a technical debt that is accumulated in the back. This is the right time to look at it, analyze it, and make sure is some candidates that could be retired out of your system. And think fresh about no code concept of Salesforce that Salesforce is promoting. Salesforce wants their admins and business stakeholders have ability to do drag and drop kind of configurations. And that's what Salesforce wants to go towards. That doesn't mean that they don't want to have like a coding option completely removed. They have a full-fledged LWC framework or Aura framework to do any customizations. But then you have to remember that there are also point and click options that Salesforce is promoting, and they want us to use that as a first option before doing any customization. So Lightning is going to provide you that platform to do that exactly. So some of the key points for IT is technical debt analysis, that I said. Then take a moment to clean up that technical debt, retire some of the low-hanging fruits which you're not using. And there are a lot of reports generated out of Salesforce, like Visual Force Access Metric, that tells you that how many times a Visual Force page has been accessed by business stakeholders, how many times the pages have been accessed by the users, and the assignment of the page layout. There is, everyone knows Lightning Readiness Report. Salesforce themselves provide a Lightning Readiness Report, a quite exhaustive report that tells you how to get to Lightning and what are the things impacted due to this transition. But that gives you what is in the system. That report is not intelligent enough to know that is it really in use, and do you really need to spend effort to convert all of those things. So that is a second level analysis that your team need to do before you move your business to Lightning. So other thing is, how do you train yourself on Lightning? There might be some people who have joined who want to understand how they can actually help businesses to transition to Lightning. I think Trailhead is the best option for you guys at the moment. Trailhead has a lot of courses that can help you, trails that can help you to learn LWC, learn the point and click configurations, and there are trails that will help you very specifically to equip on Lightning. and how to migrate to Lightning and how to gain the skills to build Lightning components. So for IT, one key takeaway is that always remember Lightning is just not a lift and shift activity that you will be doing for your business. It has to go with the set of productivity feature, which I'll explain in a bit as we go ahead. I hope that that clarifies the question anyone has. Is it really a business initiative or an IT initiative? It has to be a balance. So that's the answer for that. So uh, let's talk about this release strategy. So whenever you transition into Lightning, the main thing is, do you want to do a big bang Lightning release or an iterative release approach, where you have a lot of things like, okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. All right, sorry for that. So Lightning transition. So we have helped a lot of customers as Jade to move to Lightning, and this is worked for mid-scale enterprise companies or enterprise companies or SMB sector. If you have an environment where you don't have much customization, the good news is it's not really that difficult for you guys to move to Lightning. Around 50 to 60% of the instances are lower complexity environments. So those are able to transition to Lightning quickly. But the pain is really for some of the companies who has larger technical depth, who has been using Salesforce for maybe last 5 or 10 years. There is a specific way to go about it. And I'll explain you the transition readiness that has worked for us that will help you guys as if you guys are planning to move to Lightning. The key mantra is discover, roll out, and optimize. What does it mean? Discover is really generate Lightning readiness report, which Salesforce provides out of the box. You can go to your production, generate your Lightning readiness report. You need to analyze what Salesforce, out of that Lightning readiness report, what is really relevant or what is really used in your system today. What our observation has been is around the audit that we do of an instance, around 30 to 35% on an average of all our Lightning projects has been obsolete. What it means is that only 70% is actual scope, while 30% actually goes away. So that has been consistent observation around a lot of customer environment. So you can see that 30% on an average, the technical depth that you have built over time. So we also have something called health check report. If you have some issues in Classic where you're not able to have your processes done correctly, you're not aware of where the exact problem is. So this will help you to actually know the health of your Salesforce environment. And this is kind of must have, I would say, for Lightning, because a lot of customers do not know what health is the environment in. They just keep on building project after project after project, but they don't really look at this. And Lightning transition or Classic to Lightning conversion is the right time to look at it and generate a health check report so that you can optimize some of the fields, some of the objects, some of the layouts. It has been a consistent issue about too many layouts, too many things for admin overhead. If you want to onboard a new user, there are a lot of things that you have to go through, enable packages, enable permissions, a lot of IT overhead to actually do a simple thing as onboarding someone. So that is something that you have to reevaluate as you do this. Once you do that, you have to clean up that technical depth. You have to remove that. And then parallelly, you can start the conversion. So as we have helped in industry, a lot of customers to move to Lightning, on the way, we build some of the accelerators that help you to do that. But I'm not going to spend much time on that, but answer some of the another questions that you guys have. So Classic to Lightning migration. And so what is the approach? Many people ask us, like, what is the approach that has worked for you? And how do you think about this? Are there milestones that you need to achieve when you move to Lightning? So these are a few of them. So we generally divide our implementations in 4 buckets. Lift and shift. What does it really mean? Is that you do an audit of your instance, then you have some of the non-compliant Classic features that you need to translate into equivalent Lightning feature list, and then convert some of your technical depth, like visual first pages. For visual first pages, you have 2 ways to do that. You can either apply the skin. Everyone knows that a visual first page can be Either you can apply skin on top of it of lightning, or you can actually convert that visual force page into an LWC component. So this is all technical things, and IT should take care of a lift and shift, and they should be able to get you guys to this thing. Then second is advanced feature. This is so first step, business stakeholders really say there's nothing for us here. You're just taking a classic experience and enabling lightning experience. Advanced features is where business is really interested in. So most of the features that Salesforce provide, it has to be configured. Some of them are available as soon as you move to Lightning, but some of them is actually you need to configure. So make sure that you have a laundry list of things that your business will be able to digest when they move to Lightning, because first of all, remember there's a change in the UI for them. So there has to be a bit of training there. And then you enable some of the list of basic features that gets you there. And then once you have stable environment where they have those key basic features and they have migrated them, then you move into more of improving and enhancing. So what does that mean? Until step 1 and 2, you have not done any business process changes. You have just enabled Lightning, you have migrated them, you have added some of the advanced Lightning features. And third is actually to go and improve the experience by optimizing the sales cycle, maybe, or improving your case management, case issue to resolution cycle, or your lead to cash cycle, looking it through the process point of view. So in the step number 3, generally what we help customer do is to improve their processes and focus on how Lightning, there are small components that are provided by Salesforce that make a huge impact. I'll give you some of them is like path. In classic world, everyone said, we have a pipeline set up, we have opportunity, we have stages that we go through. But is there a graphical representation? It wasn't in classic. We had to build visual force pages and all that fancy stuff, use some design libraries and design those pages, but not anymore, right? Salesforce Lightning has path component. It has a guided way of telling your sales rep how to go about the stages. What are the key things that they need to do? That is out of the box. Try to align to that. And there are some of the enhancements that business asks that, hey, we want to implement, let's say, a feature for knowledge implementation. Now that sometimes some of the features of knowledge are not available immediately in Salesforce Lightning. But look at the roadmap. Salesforce has released a roadmap when they're going to release certain features and a lot of things that they're going to come in their future roadmap. So they have clearly stated in each of their releases what is releasing versus what is planned for future. So you can tell your business stakeholders, is it like a must-have or good to have? And can they hold back unless we go and customize it? That's the last option you guys should have, but rather look and align to that and wait for Salesforce to do that. But if it is something really that business needs it now, you might need to go ahead and customize it. But try to keep it to that level where you look at the roadmap before you plan any of your projects going forward, because Salesforce is really investing in getting those configurable components for you in future. Last but not least, I have seen Salesforce environments where, yeah, IT migrated business to Lightning. They ended up having a business group. Half of the people are on Lightning, half of the people are on Classic, and it becomes really a pain to manage and check the adoption. Who is really getting adopted to Classic? So there are a lot of things that best practices that Salesforce offers that the motion has to be always to move maximum people to Lightning, and try to see and get early feedback and try to disconnect the switcher. What does that mean? So basically, you can switch between Classic and Lightning experience. Try to run reports and see that you can conditionally start switching off switcher for some of the user and try to get maximum people into Lightning. So the adoption, so you can get all the metrics, how many people actually switched from Classic to Lightning. You can get a detailed dashboard about what is the adoption rate and how many pages and how many components are being used by actual users in Lightning. And there are a lot of like user management. Are people really preferring Classic when they log in, or do they prefer Lightning when they log in? So there are all kind of metrics available, and that's how we measure adoption into Lightning. So it's a continuous cycle that you go through, and you want to make sure that you measure the adoption, because the change for business, and there's a change management part that is required for any Classic to Lightning migration. So moving on, what do we get into details? And I think a lot of our developer community might be interested to know that what does lift and shift really mean? And there are some best practices that we listed down so that it can help you guys. First of all, identify gaps in Classic and Lightning using the org readiness report and Lightning readiness report. Convert some of your JavaScript buttons that are not compatible in Lightning to alternatives that are available in Lightning. You can create a custom action, or you can create a Lightning component launched on a button that can do the function that is in your JavaScript code. JavaScript links, you have some page links which are JavaScript links. Try to have a Lightning alternate approach of creating uh, a link or creating a component that can do a job for you. Apply Lightning style sheet for visual first pages. Very important point. Let's say you have 100 visual first pages in your system. And is it necessary to migrate everything or convert everything into Lightning component? You have to take a really wise decision by doing an analysis that how many of those pages are really going to be viewed on your mobile devices. If your organization has mobile first strategy, then it makes sense to pick up some of the pages and not all the visual first pages, because it's a huge effort to convert all your 100 visual first pages to Lightning component. Pick up only the ones that are really going to be viewed on mobile, because Lightning is mobile responsive. Any Lightning component you build, any Lightning pages you build, in fact, the Lightning experience itself is mobile compatible. So those are the things that you might need to really look at. You might need to convert your attachments to files. The major heavy lifter in Lightning conversion is actually converting your attachments to files. There was a limit of around 25 MB before that you can extend up to 65 or 70 MB. But the great news is in Salesforce Lightning, Salesforce is allowing files up to 2 GB, which is a huge win for some of the businesses who are using attachments and files widely for storing contracts, agreements, whatever, or logs of certain systems. So now you have the limit increased in Salesforce. Convert your notes to enhanced notes. So again, this is you had a specific way of adding note in Classic. Now in Lightning, you have enhanced notes, which allows you to add notes across the objects, and it's quite a cool feature in Lightning. You should check that out. Review your app exchange packages. As you go ahead during lift and shift, just double confirm with all the list of app exchange packages you have with your vendors. Are those Lightning ready? If not, what's the plan? And you might need to really evaluate, because Salesforce has pushed all the vendors to get to Lightning ready apps. So you might need to look at that too. So the last but not least is update the reference hard-coded URL. So everyone who used developer community can understand to the word hard URL hacks. I used that when I was in Classic a lot to auto-populate certain fields or something, or redirect conditionally based on certain attributes in the visual first page. Many people did that before. It is supported now in Lightning, but it's not recommended. So try to find an alternate approach to have action which actually populates the fields for you, or have something like action calling a component who does the job for you. So that is something to keep in mind. So during the lift and shift. So this is the first part that I was talking about, is lift and shift. Next is the advanced feature. And this is the hook for business stakeholders to really buy in your ask for migrating them to Lightning. As I said, there are some must-have features which comes in, and then Salesforce has given you so many options and already built components to design your pages, your Lightning record pages, Lightning apps, console apps, your home pages, everything. So try to get that feature configured in a right way and have a consistent look and feel. We always recommend our business stakeholders that because Lightning gives you so much flexibility in configuring your UI, make sure it's consistent across. Then good to have features as something like dynamic forms, Kanban view, Lightning apps, Lightning list charts, macros. Two main things that you're going to get when you move to Lightning is Salesforce Einstein and Customer 360. Salesforce has been backing up a lot these days on that. They want you guys to actually make sure that you get best out of your Salesforce by using Salesforce Einstein and Customer 360 reports that gives you a customer level view of all the insights through sales, service, and having that one single dashboard that gives you all the details about a customer. So you cannot have that in Classic. You need to be in Lightning to use all these features like Einstein and Customer 360. So many business stakeholders are asking for it because they have seen it elsewhere. They have moved from some other company to a new company. They are asking, hey, where is my Customer 360 dashboard? Where is my Einstein analytics? Where is my Einstein suggestions? And I'm seeing that conversation pick up a lot these days. But to get there, you have to first get to Lightning, and it's only then you will be able to get those features. Other things than that, we have improve and enhance. So once you do that, step number 1 and 2, business still says, you know what, experience is great, but is it solving my business process challenges? And this is the time where you note them down, identify the pain areas, focus on the process improvement. Some of the new feature, as I said, Salesforce is continuously releasing new features and components. Try to see some of those could be applicable in the ask that business has, and enable the latest Lightning features. That's the step number 3, and very important step to keep on iterating over it as you move people. And next but not least is measure the adoption. As I said, the conditional switcher, making sure that you have a report how many people actually switched between Classic and Lightning. Have the adoption dashboard of checking what actually users in the Lightning are liking about, what are the features that they are using. Then change management piece. Try to understand the training part, right? As it's a user experience change, make sure that your change management or something like WalkMe or that is helping you to train your users to do certain things in Lightning, are they able to get it? Take constant feedbacks about how your Lightning transition has been. And then use surveys, as I said, and feedback mechanism to make sure you keep on doing the enhancements to get best out of your Lightning experience. So these are a few of the things we have listed down that are very important. Regular feedbacks, as I said, the Spock's team for solving any operational issues or business challenges, and change management piece. So what is mobile first strategy, and is your organization ready? So Salesforce move or aspiration to get people to Lightning was to make sure that they can provide the mobile experience. That's the next thing that Salesforce want most of the business to think from that point of view, is to make sure that you're able to get best out of your Lightning experience. So many people are mobile. Like I can give you some examples like field reps, field sales reps, or the field service agents. They are on the ground and they want something on their screens or their mobile devices that they can operate and interact with their CRM implementation through mobile. So many companies have actually, when they move to Lightning, has adopted this. They have converted most of their pages into Lightning components, made sure that all their screens in Salesforce are actually adopted, are responsive on your mobile devices. So all those things companies are thinking about. So at Jade, what we have done is we have few accelerators to help companies to do that, and also have a proper streamlined way of getting people from Classic to Lightning. And if you have any questions, anything, if you need to know more about these components, feel free to reach out to me or anyone from marketing team. We'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, with that, that's what the questions I had. I try to explain in a bit all possible ways which will be helpful for you guys for your Lightning transition. And feel free to reach out to us. And let me see if there are any questions. All right. So one question I have is, how long does this implementation generally take? So Lightning migrations generally take, that is based on the size of your organization or size of your user base or size of your customization in your environment. If you ask me, a medium level complexity org would take you, if you want to do a partial conversion. When I say partial, that means that not converting all Visualforce pages, but having part of it converted, will take you something around 2 to 3 months. But if you have a lot of customization, you have a mobile first strategy, and you also want to make sure that your adoption is right, there is a huge group of people that you need to train, then it could be somewhere around 5 to 6 months. So taking that into consideration, you can really plan it out better. And when I give this timeline, that comes with all the things that I spoke about in this. So yeah, I think that's all we had in the questions front. So Sanobar, over to you. It was great to be here and explaining everyone what does it take really to move to Lightning experience. And yes, it is the right time to move to Lightning experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abhijit. It was a great and extremely insightful session. And I'm sure whether it is from a business perspective or a developer community perspective, it had a lot of key takeaways. I'd like to thank you so much for this session, and I'd also like to thank everyone who is watching us live right now. This session will be recorded and will be available on our website soon. So feel free to visit us on jadeglobal.com. Thank you so much once again, everyone. Have a great evening. Good night. Take care.